Hi. You know, it's occurred to me that I've never shown you how I fix the bolsters and turn them into a nice sharp V point, which can sometimes be useful for, I think, breaking chicken backs or something like that. Sounds a bit horrible. But this is a knife from a chef who comes down from the mines every now and then and gets me to resharpen all of her knives. And so I wanted to show you a couple of things. First of all, how I get rid of the high point at the back of the bolster, which people hate. And then once I've got rid of the high point, now I've got a flat, which I don't want. This one I'll show you in a minute. This one has been rounded off by the previous sharpener. And I used to round them off because I wasn't quite sure how to get a V, but now with the 1x30 and some extra coarse 80 grit Cubitron belts from Cliff Curry, I'm able to really attack this and get it to a nice shape. And then I finish it off with finer belts, and then I bring it over to the sander and it comes out really nice. So let me show you how to do that. Come with me. First of all, let me show you what I'm talking about. You can see that that's rounded off. And you can see that there's a high point right up there. You can see that's rounded off. Let's turn it into a V. So I'll spin you around. So the first thing I do is I take this off. I'm going to use the sander to lower that little bump at the back. And then you see how there's an angle. Right, so it's coming away from there. You want that so that it's not in the way when you're cutting. And then we'll put the V on it. You can see that that's angled now down away, but it's super flat. So now let's put a V on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a rocking motion, and I'm going to use the slack in the belt, and and the rocking motion is so that it's not a hard V, it is a nice shaped V like the standard factory one. See how that's starting to shape up now? We're nearly there, but see there's still a bit of a flat spot there. Eyeball it and make sure you're not lopsided. And that's beautiful. So we've got a nice point there. And now all we have to do is smooth it out. It's a bit rough. You see that grain there from the sanding disc. So next I'm going to go to probably a 120. I could go to the 180, but let's go to the 120 and smooth that off a little bit. The danger is that you'll touch up here or even the handle, so be careful there. We'll get that out, that's no problem, but just be careful when you're doing that. And the trick is to do one smooth motion so you don't end up with facets. Nice. Next I'll go to a super worn out 180. Because, you know, worn out belts are people too. So now you can see that that's much smoother. See if we can capture that grain. See, that's nice. It's getting a bit warm though, so I'll just dip it in the water. Next, I'm going to the what shall I do next? Let's try the 600 A30 Trizac. This will get it pretty smooth, but I like to go to almost shiny and then I'll satin finish it over on the Scotch Brite. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, look at that. That is nice. There you go. See how shiny that is? Not finished yet though. Next, I'm going to go to the I want the 2,500. Where's that? The 2,500 is the A6 Trizac. Beautiful. Keeping an eye on the handle, make sure you don't go into the handle. Now this is almost mirror. It's a bit warm. I'll deal with that in a minute. So look at that. How shiny is that? Now that should do, but because I am and I can, I'm going to go an extra step. And that is to the, where is it? I need a system. This one is the, what's this one? Oh, I don't know what this is. It's all worn out, but it's the 4000 grit Trizac. All purchased from Cliff Curry, so tell him that I mentioned him. Unnecessary because we're already at a mirror finish. And we're going to take it down to satin anyway. Look at this bad boy. All right, and that's beautiful now. Look, see, pointy, sharp. That's probably cutting sharp actually, but it's not its job to be a cutter. So now we come over to the fine Scotch-Brite mop. Fine. And we take that shine off and return it back to a satin, which matches the rest of the knife. And I'll do the rest of the knife as well while I'm here. And there I'm done. And although it's not super perfect, it's pretty good. Right, you can see the work. But what do you think of that? Right, super pointy. And look here, you can see that I did leave a little bit of a mark there, but that's all right compared to how it was. All right, what do you think of that? Is that cool? Now, while we're here, let's sharpen it. Now, this movie obviously brought to us by the new Baz Hybrid Heavy Duty Knife Jig, transforming the new SVM 45 knife jigs with the weird little handle to a full proper big old style thumb cup handle. You've been supporting me fantastically. I sold out twice and we've got the third batch coming now, and everybody should have theirs by this weekend. I was in Saturday now, so that should be within the next day or so. I'll have them all shipped. So hang in there if you've been waiting. Thank you for your patience. So we'll just do this at 32, being a general purpose chef knife. That's a bit too smooth. As far as the jig goes, or the jig handle, we've been experimenting with carbon fibre. So we'll see how that goes, or carbon fibre impregnated anyway. That's a bit expensive though, and I'm not sure if it's worth it, but it'd just be interesting to know. I love it. Oh, this, by the way, is the paler yellow, slightly paler. They don't make the solid yellow. That is the this one anymore. See the difference? Not much, but it is what it is. Colour doesn't make any difference. So it's gone from a Camaro Corvette yellow to more of a Mustang yellow. And good news, my motorcycle's finished. It's right outside there. I'll take you out for a look in a minute. It's looking spectacular. Now these knives were done by a casual sharpener in the caravan park apparently, because the mine is a very long distance away and they needed something, so they got him to do it. But I said, doesn't matter what happens to the knife, I can fix it. Now I've got a fair bit of grinding to do here, which is why I'm doing 2 passes or 3 passes on one side. That's okay. When you start to apex, that's when you've got to really do alternate sides. Really love this jig. I wouldn't sell it otherwise. You can trust me, it's going to help you with your sharpening. It makes all the difference. I wonder how many Tormex have been sold. I'm trying to get them into sharpening stores at the moment. I've approached a few of the local guys and they seem interested. But they have to be convinced as to its purpose. So I said, go and watch some of my YouTube videos. I rang one of them that I hadn't rung the other day and I said, hey, this and that. He goes, oh, I know you from YouTube. Yeah. I was at the supermarket the other day and a guy pointed at me. This has happened twice now. Just recently it happened again. He pointed at me and said, YouTube. How good's that? So there's a 1 cent view. I get about 1 cent per view. My average is $10 per 1,000 views over the whole channel in its lifetime. So your view is worth 1 cent and I thank you very much. And I hope I haven't got that maths incorrect, have I? If it's $10 per 1,000, then it must be $1 per 100, so 1 cent per view. Yep. So that's with all my shorts and everything, so it's a little bit more for a long video like this and way less for the shorts. Now we've got a burr. I'm so excited when I saw my motorbike. It came up really well. I'll show you in a second. If you're into motorbikes, and particularly old 70s and 80s muscle bikes, then you should theoretically like it as well. Alright, so we're finished with the 80 grit. Let's take it down to 320. And I push quite hard. That was one of the mistakes I was making before, is that I wasn't pushing hard enough. When you push hard, it really makes a difference. But of course it uses the wheel as well, so you're going to have to weigh that up. And so this is now, with a 320 plate, it brings the wheel to about 1000 grit. Don't ask me how that works, it just does. Beautiful. Beautiful. Full burr. Over to the honing wheel. I'm nearly down to the last cube. I ordered 2 more. So that should last me another 2 or 3 years. What's up? What's up, Mr. Chili? Somebody here? Not sure? I did hear something. Oh, that's just the whippersnipper next door, mate. Growling. Bloody whippersnippers. What do you think this is, mate? Let's check it. Icy smooth. Beautiful. Now, over to the kangaroo tail. Full strokes. Over to the suede side for some fine work. Trying to match the bevel as much as possible. Guy had a go at me the other day in the comments, saying that I had no idea what I was doing because my angle was elevated. Well, you know, everyone's got an opinion, I suppose. Let's see if my method works. I would say it does. So let's have another look. Nice. A little bit of shame about that little divot there, but I don't think that's going to matter too much. And look at that profile, beautiful. That's not going to interfere with cutting of the herbs. So the knife really essentially goes up to about here. But look how sharp that is. That point is beautiful. The profile is good. Let's see if I can get that focused. I'm very happy with how that came out. So that's how I do my bolsters. All right, who wants to see a motorcycle? Here we go. Bow, 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 bow. How good is that? Shiny to the max. Gold wheels. custom paint job which I designed. Silver GT stripe. Beautiful. This is a 1981 Suzuki GSX 1100 EX. How good is that? Yeah, baby. Suppose we could start it up. Why not? Am I neutral? I'm in neutral. Yeah, it's already been started today. So that is my pride and joy. Beautiful, beautiful bikes. Very distinctive in their styling. Very upright muscle bike. Thank you for your participation. And where's Chili? Where's Chili? Oh, where are you, mate? There you are. You alright? Come and say hello. Oh, you're a good boy. And you know how many people bought you a snack? Do you know how many people bought you a snack? Have a guess. Was it 3? Was it 4? It was lots of people. People were buying you snacks and they were giving me tips and saying, please feed Chili. Yep. So, you're going to say thank you? You're not. Hey, say thanks. You're going to say thank you? All right. Off you go. Clip clop. Hey. Oh, you're coming back. Oh, all right. All right then, folks. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next movie.